Hey guys, if you're anything like me, you don't have a dad or a mom that can help you navigate corporate America. You're just out here thugging it out, trying to make it, trying to get promoted, trying to get the new opportunity, all that stuff. Whew. Listen, I'm creating a course, and my goal is to help you set yourself up for success. And the result should be you should be eligible for promotion 18 to 24 months after you take this course. I'm so excited. I'm putting my heart and soul into this. Now, I just need to know, is this something you're really interested in? If so, go to trillandba.com and sign up in the pop-up. That way, when registration opens, you'll be the first to know. Thank you guys for all of your support. And again, if you have any questions or concerns, you can always email me at ask@trillandba.com. Now let's start the show. Welcome to the Trill MBA Show. I'm your host, Felicia Ann Rose Enuha, aka the Trillest MBA you will ever know. And I'm here to help you survive and thrive in corporate America by giving you the truth and being as real as only I can be. Happy Sunday, everybody. We are making it. You're doing it. You got this. We're halfway through the year. It's the second week in July, so we're in the beginning of Q3. So you got 2 whole quarters to flip everything around if it's not going well, or to elevate this train that you're on to success. So either way, you have time, but you have to act now, which is why I'm doing this episode today, which is the double click on the episode from last week that was our Q2 check-in. So at the end of every quarter, I'm going to be checking in with you guys and talking about things that you should be doing right now to stay focused and bring the year in strong at work. No excuses, you guys. You have the power. You know, one of my biggest mistakes that I made during my career in corporate was not managing my managers. And last week we talked about relationship building, but I wanted to deep dive into your relationship with your manager, because this relationship is so instrumental, not only to your career progression at your company, but it's also instrumental to how you're able to just be and breathe day to day. And so when you have a good relationship with your manager, it just makes your whole life easier. So today, we're going to talk about how to manage your manager. So for me, what I learned the hard way is that I was operating from a place of fear. Every day I showed up to the office afraid to make a mistake. I was walking on eggshells. And because of this, I wasn't focused on the actions that would help me succeed, but instead I was focused on avoiding failure. And I tell you guys all the time, if you're a regular listener of the show, you have heard me say this at least 10 times. Do not make fear-based decisions. So in addition to operating out of fear, I also was not managing my energy well. And so today I'm going to lay out why managing your manager is so important and unfortunately on you to do, how to determine the type of manager you have, which is key to your strategy on managing your manager, and how to build a positive relationship with this person. We won't call them out their name just yet, because some of y'all might actually have good managers. It's a few of you. It ain't many. So first, why is managing up so important? Now you have to understand, managing up allows you to create a healthy work environment for yourself, first and foremost. You always have to think about you first, and your health is of the utmost importance. The other reason why managing your manager is so important is because it allows you to get the support that you need to do a great job. When you're not managing your manager, you are sitting there assuming things, trying to figure it out, trying to thug it out. I've gotten so many letters with you guys talking about situations that you was just trying to work it out yourself because it felt detrimental or you were afraid of the backlash if you actually spoke up. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, that's not necessarily an unhealthy fear, right? Like, we've been burned. If you've been in corporate at least 5 years, you've seen the shit, right? And so when you have a manager who you know, you're trying everything, and they're just an asshole for whatever reason, there is nothing you can do to like get this person on your side after a certain amount of time. And so you don't go to them for any support. You don't ask them for anything. You don't try to figure it out. You're just like, throw your hands up, do your best, look for other jobs, and try to escape with as few scratches as you can. And I get that. But guess what? It's not working if you go to the next place and the next place and the next place, and you still are having this same issue over and over with managers. And so you have to take a step back and you have to say, okay, what can I do different? And I'm here to tell you, you can always change it around and get the help and support you need directly from your manager and not get dinged for it. Another reason why managing up is so important is because it helps you manage your career overall. And so you should have career goals set for yourself. Every job you have should be a stepping stone in your career journey. And you may not know the whole path and you may not see it all the way to the top, but you have to be intentional and actively manage each step. So each job and each role is a step in your career journey. And so you have to be learning at each step. You have to be growing at each step. And if you manage your manager, they can help you navigate that. But you have to manage your manager and you have to understand what your goals are. And then you have to communicate them in a way that's palatable for your manager and leadership. What do I mean by that? For example, I remember when I was a young, fresh MBA, and I had great grandeur, dreams of CEO-ness in corporate. Oh, Felicia. And so it was a mid-year review or it was an end-of-year review. I can't remember. But, they ask you, so what are your career goals? And so they ask you, what's the short term? What's the long term? And I was like, I want to be the CEO. I was just being honest. Sometimes you can't tell everybody your whole truth. You just can't, especially in these corporate spaces, because most likely they're going to look at you and think, who do you think you are that you think you can be the CEO? It's very rare that you'll get a manager that low-key isn't offended by your ambition. So Manager. So I looked up a bunch of articles to prep for this episode, and I pulled together all the nuggets that the white people that wrote these articles said, but what I'm gonna do is interpret them for how you should conduct yourself in the office. So, for example, there's an HBR article. I'll link to it in the show notes. But a quote was, even if your boss has some serious shortcomings, it is in your best interest and it's your responsibility to make the relationship work. I totally agree. Now, in that article, it says some things that sounds good in theory, yeah, but in practice for us, not quite how you should execute. So be cautious when you read these things, right? Understand the point of view of the author and make sure you adjust for your black ass, okay? All right. The other thing I want you to understand, managing up is important, but what it does not mean is sucking up. Sucking up is not going to get you anywhere, and it's going to make you look immature. What managing up truly means is that you're being the most effective employee you can be, creating value for your boss and your company. That is what managing up means. And please, ladies, we have to get out of the mindset that our good work will speak for itself. It won't. Your work doesn't talk. You do. So your work cannot speak for you. And I know that's counterintuitive to what we've been told year in and year out and from our parents and grandparents and all that stuff. Just work hard, baby. Just work hard. No. Yes, work hard, but you have to speak in ways that get your work noticed. And you do that by managing up. And yes, the burden is on you to find ways to communicate with your manager. Now, when we come back from the break, we're going to talk about what type of manager do you have? How to identify this person by how they operate. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. And we're back. Hey. Listen, so we talked about in the first segment why managing up is important. So it's important to you, important to your health, important to your career, and it's on you to do. Got it. Check. Now, what kind of manager do you have? So listen, there's this great HBR article that breaks down 9 different types of managers. And it is important for you to understand. Again, I will be linking all of this in the show notes. It behooves you to go and read all this stuff. And you will find tips for each one of these managers. So I'm not going to break this all down. If you want me to help you figure out your specific strategy, you can always hit me up, ask@trilliumba.com, and email me or go to trilliumba.com/coaching, schedule time with me, and we can figure out your specific manager, how they act, and then we can put together a game plan for you to start to turn the relationship around or get off on solid ground, okay? But understanding the type of manager you have is key so that you can start a plan to intentionally manage up. So the first type of boss is a brand new boss. Someone you've never met before, someone you've never worked with before. And so with a brand new boss comes a wonderful thing called a clean slate. However, if you've been in this organization for a while, you might run into what some organizations call tapes. So it's the shit your other manager tells your new manager about you. It may be true. It may not be true. It may be positive. It may be negative. But guess what? If your manager is an asshole, they're going to listen to the tapes and then they're going to have confirmation bias. What is confirmation bias? It is the bias that when I'm given a piece of information, then I'm biased towards that information and I'm looking for things to confirm it. For example, if my new boss is told, Felicia is slow to respond to emails, which is some malarkey, right? But okay, whatever. Now, every time an email isn't answered within a day or within whatever time frame, within an hour, whatever time frame they have in their mind and they have visibility to it, that's just going to confirm to them that, oh, that's true. Even though it might be one time out of 100 emails, that one time is going to hold so much more weight than the other 99 times that I spent my whole day answering fucking emails. Gotta love corporate, right? No. We gotta love these checks. We love these checks. We're gonna make it, y'all. We're gonna make it. So what you want to do with a brand new boss is come in early, act like you have a clean slate. Don't worry about what that person's been told. And you operate as the consummate professional. You come in with agendas, you be buttoned up, you make sure they have all the information they need, you help them onboard, you be super positive and super pleasant and excited about them coming and excited about the work. Even if they do some bullshit things, keep the perception that you're happy and excited up, and it will pay off. And I know that's not fair, and I know it's a struggle, but it will pay off. You showing your frustration with your new boss is definitely a way not to manage up. So don't do that. Now, the second type of manager is a manager you don't see face to face because you work remote, they work remote, y'all both work remote. So with this type of boss, you definitely have to make sure on a consistent basis that you are connecting with this person, that you make an effort, if possible, to see them face to face once a quarter. You definitely want to see them in their face, look them in their eye. It's much easier to lie to people on the phone. And if you can, as much as possible, do video conferencing with that person and not phone or teleconferencing. That's much better because you need the visibility. And you also need to be making sure that you're connecting with local team members in your area and making sure you're building credibility within the teams that you are around so that that information can get back to your manager and flow through the organization. Again, intentional management of your career and your boss. The third type of boss is an insecure boss. He has an ego. And I say he, but it could be she, either one. Now, insecure men operate a little bit differently than insecure women. So with insecure men, if you just feed their ego, again, uber positivity always goes a long way. Make sure you're still buttoned up, super polished. Don't jokey joke with them. Let them tell the jokes. If they tell a joke, laugh at the joke. I know it's a stupid joke. That's fine. Laugh at it anyway. And what I would suggest you do is what I call the 8-count laugh. So it's just long enough that it doesn't sound fake and it doesn't sound too short. And so it's not too long, it's not too short, and it goes like this. Yeah, Felicia, so, there were 2 rabbis coming to a bar. Joke, joke, joke. End of joke. Oh, boss. 4 beats twice. 8 count. Ready? I'm going to do it one more time. 8 counts. It might have been 7, but you get my drift. Just a cadence. It sounds natural, right? Sounds like I'm really laughing, like genuinely. It's like, see that? It's fake. I'm not laughing. You're not funny. In fact, you get on my fucking nerves. But I know that me telling you that part won't help me manage my career or get this promotion. So I'm going to laugh at your corny ass jokes. Now, let's say you have Sally as your manager that's insecure. So the problem with insecure women in corporate spaces, especially when they're Becky's, is that they have something to prove. Most likely they are going to be your micromanager. They're going to be all over everything because they don't want any balls to drop because they have something to prove. So the way that you manage that person is you get ahead of them, you anticipate their needs times 1 million, you constantly stay in contact with them every day. I would say do drive-bys to their desk in the morning and in the afternoon just to keep them posted. I'm telling you, they will finally get a clue and leave you alone and let you do what you do once they realize like, oh, wow, she's all over it. And she probably knows more than I do, so I should just let her be. The other way you're going to tame her is slowly through your one-on-ones. You're going to have conversations about working style, and you're going to have a very positive conversation about what helps you best to do your best work. And then you're going to bring up some pain points like, you know, I really work well when I'm able to schedule my time and blocks uninterrupted. So what that means is don't come over to my desk every goddamn hour, every 30 minutes with some shit because I'm working. But you can't say it like that. So you're like, I work best when I can schedule my blocks of time. And if you can see my calendar, these are the work times that I schedule. I check emails at 9 a.m., noon, and 4 p.m. Those are my email checking times. If there's something urgent, you can come over to my desk and let me know. And if it's a priority right then over what I have, I'll double check that with you and then I will get on it. But I promise you, I will get it done. So you just have to reassure her. And so it will get better or you'll just leave the organization because you're tired of her bullshit. But, you know, either one. Number 4, an all-knowing or indecisive boss. Oh my God. And all-knowing, usually they don't really know shit. They think they know. They have no clue, right? Or, you know, those talk out loud bosses, they process out loud, which is just them not wanting to make a decision because, again, the most likely they're all operating out of fear. And so the way you manage that is you listen, you pay attention, you say, yes, sure, and then you go do what you know you need to do. Also, you schedule skip meetings with your boss's boss. So you make sure you understand what the real priorities of the business are. So your boss can be indecisive and then you can make decisions and then, yay, you make both of you guys look good. So you've circumvented that person. The 5th type of manager is a manager who gives you conflicting messages. So, you know, the manager that after a great project has launched and it went pretty well, maybe some hiccups, but that manager will text you and say, oh my God, Felicia, you did such a great job. This turned out wonderful. I can't wait for the next one. Blah, 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 blah. Did great. But then tell somebody else, you know, we had this issue at this event and Felicia was running point and blah, blah, blah. So that's one conflicting type of message, right? So it's like, well, did I do a good job or not? The other type of conflicting message is, hey, I really need you to pull XYZ together for me, and I need it by Tuesday. But then you know that the meeting is actually Friday. Now, mind you, it's Monday. So he's saying, I need this tomorrow, when you know he really doesn't need it till Friday. So then how you handle that is you ask some probing questions around priorities. So you don't say no, never say no. But what you want to do is say, hey, Mr. Boss Man, just want to double check, really excited about working on this, pulling this together. I know it's a tight timeline. That's great. I just want to let you know, if I stop doing project B to do this project, then project B will have XYZ effect or get pushed or whatever. So I just want to make sure and run by you that this is the priority. And then I will have to get B done after I finish this. And it might not be until Wednesday or Thursday. So just want to align with you that that's okay. And then they have to make a decision. Do they give you more time? Do they be an asshole and not? Now the ball is in their court. You told them what you needed as far as time management. That's on you. And so then there's the other conflicting message of, oh, verbally, oh, you're doing great work. You're doing great work. And then when it comes time for your review, it's all these issues. And you're like, oh, so you couldn't tell me this in March, but you're writing it down, you're bringing it up now. And so this is where you need to document. It's very important. And so when your boss gives you all these praises, but then they write different things in emails or on reviews or on paper, what you need to do is document what they told you verbally in an email that sounds like this. Dear boss, thank you so much for the compliment you gave me in the hallway today about how great of a job I did on the XYZ project. Your positive reinforcement gives me great delight in this role and this project. I'm really excited about what's to come. Please let me know if there's anything else I can help you with. In the meantime, I'm working on project A, B, and C. And as we discussed in our one-on-one, they're all on track. So thank you again for the recognition, and I'll talk to you soon. Sincerely, Felicia. I know, right? So this way, every time they say something positive, you have it documented now. So make sure you put the time and where they said it and what they said and all that good stuff. And be uber positive. Because remember, you're documenting. Okay? So facts and positivity. The sixth boss is a long-winded boss. Child, you just have to let this boss talk, right? For the most part. But what I would do is, if you have a work BFF, and this is why you need a work BFF, you have them ping you. Make sure you have your phone. You have them ping you every time you have a meeting with this long-winded boss. And you say, oh my God, Project B, I've been waiting on this message. Can we pick this back up at the next meeting you have scheduled with him? Oh, yeah, sure. And then anything he really wants you to know, he's going to email you. But always make it about work to cut him off and be apologetic and, oh my God, and make it super urgent and get out of there. Now, the hands-off boss. Actually, I personally like the hands-off boss because then I can do what I know I need to do. But the thing is, if you have a hands-off boss, you have to boss up. You have to pretend that you're them, and you just have to get stuff done as if you own it. And sometimes for new people, that's hard because you may feel imposter syndrome, or you may feel like you're not quite sure if you're doing the right thing. If you're in a position where you know you need to be developed and your boss is hands off, this is where you have to talk to your peers, get your mentors in line to get the development you need, and make your own development plan outside of this person. Because this person ain't concerned about you and they ain't concerned about anything really. And most likely they're probably checked out. That's usually when a hands-off boss, either they're checked out or they have too much stuff on their plate and they're overloaded and everything's a priority. So they would love to spend time with you, but they just don't have any based on workload. They may be short-staffed. So there's a myriad of reasons for the hands-off boss, but the way you look good in the situation is that you boss up. And you can do it. Don't be afraid. If you make a mistake, own up to it, learn from it, and move on. And if it's so detrimental, just know now you have great experience because you've probably been doing stuff that was above your level, and you can put that on your resume and happily bounce to the next one, like Beyonce. Okay? Now, the 8th type of manager is a manager who isn't as smart as you. Oh, this is the worst. Because usually this person thinks that they're smart. Or maybe they know they're not smart, and so they're doing the whole fake it till you make it thing. And it is annoying. Oh, God, it's so annoying. But one thing you have to do, you have to give this person grace. Because it's probably that they maxed out their Peter principle, right? Like, they have risen to the level of their incompetence. And so now they are your boss and they're dumb. In this situation, you be kind. Don't call them out in public on their stupidity. If you do it in private, let them save face. You will have somebody that should vouch for you and help you move up in the organization. Because they're there for a reason. Somebody likes them. Even though they might not be doing shit at the job and they might be dumb as rocks. Yeah, he's somebody's son. Oh, God. Nobody in your family, though, right? Now, a boss that is actually a board of directors. This one, I don't really think this fits any of us. I don't think. But if it does, just know that if you have this kind of boss, you're high up there. You have to be. You're just with the board and you're with the CEOs and CFOs and the C-suite. You're doing some boss work. So you just have to be confident. And again, uber positivity for all these people. And make sure that you are using that visibility and that you are managing your career. Because again, I think these people are probably going to be more hands-off because they're so high up. And so you really have to boss up in that situation. So those are the 9 different types of bosses that I came across in my research. If there's another type of boss that I didn't cover that you have, let me know. Email me, ask@trilliumba.com. So once you understand the type of boss you have, this will allow you to create your plan of attack for building the relationship. And that is a win for you, okay? Because once you understand your boss's strengths and weaknesses, you can really dive into things like ways of working, their pet peeves, their communication style. Because at the end of the day, your job is to meet and beat their expectations, no matter what type of boss they are. And so you may have some hurdles with the type of boss they are, but remember, you are in control. You have the power. Do not sit like a duck and just feel powerless. You have the power to have these conversations. Yes, you have to be delicate with your language. Yes, you have to practice what you're going to say ahead of time. Yes, you have to smile and be nice and not cuss them out like you really, really want to. Okay?
And I want to look them straight in the eye, and I want to tell them what a cheap, lying, no-good, rotten, four-flushing, low-life, snake-licking, dirt-eating, inbred, overstuffed, ignorant, blood-sucking, dog-kissing, brainless, dickless, hopeless, heartless, fat-ass, bug-eyed, stiff-legged, spotty-lipped, worm-headed sack of monkey shit he is. Hallelujah! Holy shit! Where's the Tylenol?
That doesn't get you anywhere. But you do have to be direct in that you just have to get to the point of the matter in as delicate a way as possible. And you have to remember to ask for what you need and get what you deserve to have as far as support. So even with the hands-off manager, if you need support from them, you're going to have to ask them. And that's okay. But you also want to tell them like, hey, I've done all these things to get support for myself. But at this juncture, at this situation, I need your help. Thanks. Boss up. And it doesn't matter whether you like this person or not. You focus on what you came here to get, and it's to get that experience in that job stepping stone and keep it moving. Okay? Remember, chances are you're only going to have to deal with this person for no more than 2 years if you play your cards right. So it's all learning and pushing. The key is do not give up, okay? When we come back from the break, now that you know what type of boss you have, now we're going to talk about the things you need to do in order to build a better relationship with your manager. So come back and I'm going to give you all the secrets to have a better relationship with this person that you might or might not like. And we're back. So in the last segment, we talked about the different types of managers, and that might have been a little long, but there was 9 of them, y'all, 9. So now I'm going to try to get y'all out of here soon. So let's talk about building a better relationship with your boss. So here are the things you need to do. Again, always show up as your most positive self. If you got frustrations, if you're go talk to your friends outside of work. If you have a work BFF, go to happy hour with that one person and make fun of stuff. But outside of that, never talk negatively about work. Everything is, I'm happy to be here. Thank you so kindly. I will take another plate of your bullshit and I will ask for another one. Thank you. Thank you very much. Trust me, your positivity will get you further than any directly saying bullshit on this and bullshit on that. We can't operate like that, you guys. They have that luxury. You know, Steve and Becky, we don't, okay? Now, the other thing you need to stop doing is stop making assumptions and just ask. Just ask your boss. No one is a mind reader. So stop thugging it out and going through like, oh, does she think this? Or maybe she wants this, or blah, blah, blah. Just ask. And the way you ask is you say, hey, here are the 3 things that I think about this situation, and I want to align with you and make sure that that was your thought process too, or if you had some different takes on it, or if you had any builds. This way, they'll tell you, and you look like you've thought it out, you've been thoughtful, and you know what you're doing. You're a consummate professional, okay? Third thing is make sure you are clear on your manager's expectations. And how do you do that? You ask them what their expectations are. It's that simple. I know, guys, sometimes we get in our own heads and we're afraid, but we got to stop that. And we just have to ask for the information we need, right? But in a professional way. The other thing is you need to pay attention to what's happening and try to anticipate your boss's needs. And I know that's hard sometimes, but if you have these conversations about their working style and how they think through things, you pay attention to them, you'll start figuring out, oh, okay, every Wednesday they're going to ask me for this. Let me just send it to them before they ask. That stuff goes a long way. And the other thing, I know I said boss things out, and I mean that. Boss it out. However, don't forget to bring these fools along on what's happening. The last thing you want them to do is be surprised and get caught off guard. Oh my God. You know you hate to be caught off guard yourself. So how do you think your boss feels? Don't do it. Make sure they know. Don't hide. If shit is hitting the fan, let them know immediately. Okay? Don't hide stuff. Just go and put it out there. If you messed up, say, look, I messed this up. Here's how I'm fixing it. And keep moving and make it not a big deal. All right. So some rules of engagement with your boss. Figure out and adapt to your boss's communication styles by watching them interact with others. So again, the pay attention, so important. You also want to seek agreement on how and when to update your boss on your work. Again, bringing them along, but how they want you to bring them along. Okay. Now, ask yourself whether tensions with the boss may be a problem of clashing styles rather than more fundamental conflicts, like you ain't coming to work on time and you think you should just be able to come in when you want to. Aww. If you over here assing around and fucking around and you just miserable, hurry up and get fired. Quit wasting people's time. Because if you that miserable, you don't need to be there. Like, come on now. You need to operate with a sense of excellence because we are Black excellence, you guys. That's just what we are. So don't get so frustrated and pissed off and angry at whatever situation you're in that you start slipping, okay? Now, the other thing you really want to do is avoid escalating problems to the boss too quickly. So you need to try to solve the problems yourself. And when you see the shit is about to hit, then you go escalate it. And then you explain what you did to try to solve the problem and how now you need them to help you. And that's fine. That is preferred over anything else. And when you bring your boss a problem, you also want to bring them at least one potential solution to just show that you used your critical thinking skills. And I know a lot of you probably like, Felicia, we know this. Yeah, you know it, but I guarantee you, it's a friend out there that don't know this stuff. And that's why I'm talking about it. If you must disagree with your boss, do it privately in a calm voice during a low stress time. So again, you don't want to have your boss looking crazy in a meeting. So come in with the united front after the meeting, after everybody's had time to breathe. Then in your one-on-one or at the appropriate time, go say, hey, you mentioned this, but I was thinking this. Maybe if you could give me more context. So you didn't say you disagreed with them. Never say, I disagree with you. I think you're wrong. That don't get you nowhere. Again, come from a place of positivity. So it's hey, I heard you say this, and I get that. I was thinking this. So can you give me more context? Because it must be something I'm missing. See what I did there? And then they'll explain more their point of view. And then you can have an open dialogue where they should be open to what you're thinking, or they may give you a piece of information you didn't know about that would change your alignment, but you have to ask. This one should go without saying. Never badmouth your bosses behind their backs. Hell, never badmouth your boss anywhere near your building, anywhere near any work people. Definitely not online. Don't do it. Do not. I don't care how tempted it is. I know, y'all, there's a lot of stuff I be wanting to tweet and say, and I have to backspace. Because I'm like, even though I'm the trillist, I'm still not really trying to F up so much that I can't get a corporate check. Although I'm inching closer and closer to that. So we'll see what happens. And you never want to embarrass your boss in front of other people. Don't do it. Even though he's being an asshole prick to you. Maybe he's a racist bastard. Maybe he's a sexist prick. But don't do it. Remember, Michelle Obama, when they go low, we go high.
When they go low, we go high.
We're playing the long game, not the short game. Okay? Now, the last thing, you want to avoid overload by asking your boss for help prioritizing your projects rather than saying no. So I know it's tempting to be like, hell no, I ain't gonna do that. F you. Trust me, one time I was counting chips. Now, y'all know I got an MBA, right? And this fool had me counting chips and weighing popcorn. Like an analyst wouldn't even do it. Yeah. And then never to use the information I pulled together at all. Because I knew it was some bullshit. And I tried so hard to get out of it. Oh, God. Oh, okay. Now listen, a couple of last things. This relationship with your manager, I know it feels personal, but it's not. They don't owe you nothing, really. You don't owe them nothing, really. Common decency and respect should be had by both parties. But after that, it's a crapshoot with these people. And they're people. So they got their own shit. And they're people. You know, human's human. So listen, how you make it through is you've got to use contrived vulnerability. Contrived vulnerability is your friend. Have your talking points that you don't mind sharing about yourself. Because see, one thing about Black women, we don't really like to do all that chit-chatting and talking to them folks in the office. Like, we really just want to do our goddamn job, get promoted, get our money, leave us the hell alone. But that's not how this works, y'all. Because in order to get promoted, they need to like you. They need to feel comfortable with you. How do you get them to feel comfortable with you? Contrived vulnerability. So what is this, Felicia? You're just making up shit. No, listen. So for me, everybody loves Felicia, right? And the reason why is because I have my few bullet points that I share. And it makes it seem like, oh my God, you're telling me something so personal. And I'm like, actually, I'm telling you something you could just Google me and find out. But if you think it feels personal, I win. So one thing I'll talk about, like, my mom died. That sounds super personal. Again, Google it. You can see she did. So I don't know what to tell you. But, you know, when you talk about people passing, you know, it's something people like, oh, you're human. Anything that humanizes you, right? Because remember, you're fighting these unconscious biases. And even though they don't want to admit they have them. Why? Slavery. Yeah. The other thing is you want to communicate with your boss in the communication style they are most comfortable with, but you need to set your boundaries. So for example, if your boss is emailing you after like 6, 7 o'clock at night, don't answer that shit until you get to the office in the morning. And you don't even have to bring it up. If they call you at an inappropriate time, don't answer. Let it go to voicemail. Unless you're a doctor and you're actually saving lives, or you make heart transplant materials or something that actually affects human beings in real time, that somebody could actually die if you don't answer the phone, don't answer the goddamn phone. It is not that important. You set your schedule. You manage your time. You manage your energy. And you get back to them as soon as you can. But make sure when you get back to them, you've given them everything that they've asked you for. And for God's sakes, please, please don't keep secrets, because secrets always come out. Be honest and be upfront, okay? So those rules of engagement with your boss, those came from a Wall Street Journal article, and I'll have the link posted in the show notes. Oh boy, y'all. I know it's a lot, but this is what we gotta do. And you really have to focus on this relationship because this person is your number one advocate. And if they're not, then you're your number one problem to getting to where you're trying to go. So you've got to do this work. And I know it's like a whole nother job, but hey, just do it and get to where you're trying to go. And the other thing, get the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. I can't say this enough. I'm telling you, if you ever wanted a book on how to manage relationships with white people, specifically white men, written by a white man, ta-da, you got it. So get the book so you can talk to these people in a way that's meaningful to them, and you can start to build these relationships with them, and you can start to influence within the organization. No matter what level you are, you have the power to build relationships that build your credibility in the organization and gives you influence within the organization that helps you manage your career and go as high as you want to go. And yeah, there are going to be some roadblocks along the way. That's fine. You can manage around them. You can jump over them. You got this. And at the end of the day, please remember, you need to give yourself and your boss grace. We all need a little bit of grace, you guys. And I know sometimes people do things and you're like, oh. But at the end of the day, we're all humans just trying to make it the best way we can. So I know I've talked y'all's ears off. I love you guys. I hope I gave you a lot to think about. Please, if you need some help or advice about a specific work situation, go to trillandba.com/coaching. Schedule time with me. I'm happy to help you. The first 30 minutes is completely free. And quiet as it's kept, it's usually like 45 minutes because, Blacks. In addition to that, you can always email me at ask@trillandba.com. I love getting your emails. It just warms my heart. Thank you for listening and supporting the show. Make sure you subscribe on your favorite podcast app. So Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, SoundCloud, everywhere you listen to podcasts. I am out here in these internets for you. So until next time, you guys, keep it trill. The Trill MBA Show is a Fair World Corp LLC production. Executive produced by Felicia and Rose Enuha. Music is Kick Push by Ryan Little. Keep it trill every day, y'all.